Hello, this is Latrell from knowledgeovergrades.net. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the 9 things you must be doing at the beginning of every semester. Before we get started, I do have a checklist that you can download and use throughout the semester. Put it in your agenda notebook or your binder so that you can reference it. I also have a blog post that complements this video and the checklist so that you can refer to it at any time. Click the link in the description below. The link will be knowledgeovergrades.net/9-semester-checklist for the checklist. So I know that the semester just started and you're probably like, new semester, new me. Last semester was crazy. This semester, I'm going to implement better strategies and everything's going to be great and I'm going to pass. So I felt that way maybe who knows how many semesters I've done in college, but I know exactly how you feel, and that's why I've made this list so that you can do even better and to help you along. So number 1 is for you to register for classes before the deadline. Now, I don't know when the deadline is, depending on whether it's going to be fall semester or spring semester, even summer or winter classes, but you need to go onto your school website and find out when the deadline is. So here's a list of things that you need to do in order to register for your classes. Number 1, you need to go to your school website and find out when the deadline is for registration. Number 2, before the deadline, schedule an appointment with your academic advisor or go to the registrar or bursar office, I don't remember which one it is, so that you can schedule an appointment to register for your classes. Number 3, review the program for your major and choose classes that you know your program requires. So you don't want to get a class that's going to basically set you back and waste time. You want classes that are going to move you forward towards graduating on time or early. Number 4, make sure that you're registering with enough credits so that you'll be able to meet your financial support requirements. Number 5, go to your registration appointment on time because there may be other people in line and you don't want to get kicked out, with your list and register for your classes. Number 6, ask for a printout of your course schedule. Now, number 7 is a bonus. You may be able to register online on your own, but you will need to get those classes approved. Registering online only reserves a spot for you in a specific class, but you have to get it approved by your academic advisor. Okay, here's the second thing that you must do when starting a new semester, and I mentioned this in number 1, but it's really important. You must make sure that your courses meet your financial support requirements. So you could be getting financial support from the government, from grants, from scholarships, from loans, from your family members. They may have requirements too, but you need to make sure that when you're registering for classes, you have enough credits. Most financial aid, financial support programs, they'll tell you that you need to be a full-time student. And if you ever become below a full-time student, then they won't support you. You need money to go to school. So what you need to do, being a full-time student is 12 credits. Anything below 12 credits is part-time. So when you're registering for classes, make sure you get enough of those classes, even if you're doing 13 credits, just not 11 or 10, because anything below 12 is not full-time. The third thing you need to do in the beginning of a semester is to make sure you have signed up for your school email account. Now, every student has a school email account, but not all students know that they have one. Some students still email their professors from their personal account. A lot of professors won't accept an email from your personal account simply because it's unprofessional and they want to keep everything kosher, keep it clean, keep it professional. So that's why you're given a school email account. You also may need to contact an administrator, contact your advisor, whoever you need to contact in the school. You need to do that through your school email account. Now, your school email account is going to be like your name or your username at your school name.edu or something like that. So it's not going to be like at Gmail or at Yahoo or anything. It's going to be at your school.edu. If you need any help doing that, contact IT support, contact admissions, or anybody who can help you in your school. The fourth thing you need to do when the semester starts is to buy or rent your books and your school supplies for each class. It will be best to contact your professor just to verify that what the school suggests you to buy when you register for the class is the same thing that your professor is going to be using in class. Sometimes it's a different edition of the book and they haven't updated it yet. Sometimes the professor has supplies that they want you to use that they haven't updated in the school system to let the school know, to let you know what you need to purchase before the class starts. So emailing the professor, that's why it's good to have your school email account. Email the professor so that you can get that information. And if you end up not hearing back from your professor, go ahead and buy the books and the supplies that the school suggests, but do not break the seal. Your bookstore will tell you, and any bookstore that you purchase through online will tell you, do not break the seal if you want to return this book, because if you do want to return the book and you broke the seal, then you're just basically going to have to pay the full price and you're just going to return it back to us. Wait until your first day of class if you don't hear back from the professor. Even if you do hear back from the professor, this is what I did. I just waited until the first day of class to verify, make sure all my classmates around me had the same book and like over understood that was the book that I was supposed to get for my class. Also, be aware that you may have to purchase some other items after class starts. So put some money aside. Don't spend all your scholarship money, all your book money because you bought all your books. Save some money until class starts and then see if you need to purchase any more items, supplies, or passwords to a software online or something like that, because they be expensive, like $50, $100. So in my opinion, renting books is almost the best way to go. I rented a lot of my books in college, especially books that I knew I wasn't going to want later on, and I got them at a cheaper price. There were also books that I bought and resold, and that was a good deal too. The websites that I used mainly were Amazon.com and Chegg.com, Chegg.com. And they were pretty reliable. Always had the books that I needed. The fifth thing you need to do at the beginning of a semester is find out when the withdrawal deadline is. So with the withdrawal date, this is what you need to do. You need to go onto your website, find the school calendar, the semester calendar, and find the withdrawal date. Store that date into your agenda book for the semester. Store it also into your phone on your calendar, and then set a reminder for 2 weeks in advance for that alarm to go off and remind you. When it does go off and remind you, you need to evaluate how you're doing in your class. Are you passing currently? Is your grade a passing grade? Are you understanding what's going on? Are you going to be able to move forward with what you know so far? Are you super far behind in your assignments or far behind in your understanding that it's probably impossible for you to pass? If these things are the case where you think you probably won't pass, then go ahead and withdraw, because it's best for you to withdraw than it is for you to take the class, fail it, and for an F to be on your transcript because it's not coming off. The main thing that you spent all this money, that you bought these supplies and books and stuff, but use it next time when you take the class again. And also you may want to think about changing your major simply because you may not be as interested as you thought you was in this major because of the courses you have to take. So give all of that some thought. The sixth thing you need to do is to review the syllabus. By the time it's the week before the semester to start, your professors should have emailed you the syllabus for their courses, and that's when you need to download them and print them out and put them in your binders. Then you need to review them. You need to make sure you got all of the supplies and books that are in the syllabus. You need to also take a note of all of the due dates. So you have assignments, you have projects, quizzes, and tests. You also need to take a note of your professor's office hours. Now, this is really important because there is no reason why you should be struggling in your class with all the help that you could be getting from your professor is the first thing that you could take advantage of. So the office hours are usually either before the class, after the class, or some other time during the week. Make time to go and see your professor, maybe even introduce yourself. But definitely, if you have a question about something, any question, go and talk to your professor. The seventh thing you need to do is locate the tutoring or learning centers on your campus and the library on your campus. Know where they are. It's good to know where they are, but if you need extra help, you need some quiet space to study, you need to go and take advantages of these places, because your dorm room or your house may not always be the best place to be when you are trying to study. I know it wasn't for me. I had to get out of my environment because I will always find something to do at home, or somebody want to involve me in a conversation and I have to study. Here are some things you need to find out about your learning center. You need to find out where it is at your school. You need to find out when it's open. So what are the hours? Find out who tutors your subject, and find out when that tutor is in the learning center tutoring your subject so that you can meet them. Now, speaking of tutors, I used to tutor in a community college, and I know that certain times of the semester were slow times where there wasn't that many people in the learning center, and then other times it was just crazy and everybody was in the learning center and it was just a bunch of chaos and everybody was pulling me their way to answer a question for them. I tutored math. So you may not be interested in that type of environment. You may need to hire a tutor, private tutor, so they can tutor at your own time in a quiet space, and you can get the most out of that tutor, and you can have that tutor's undivided attention for however long you decide to tutor. Now, there are plenty of places you can find a tutor. You can look online in your community, but I'm sure you can find a tutor for whatever subject you're learning, because everybody is tutoring and teaching something. You may even be able to hire one of your classmates to tutor you. Me personally, I tutor math. I've been tutoring for over 10 years, and I've also did a little bit of teaching. If you would like to book a math session with me, you can head over to my website, knowledgeovergrades.net, and book a session. The library is also a really important place to be. I discovered a lot of resources going to my library. One thing is that they have computers, and you usually can print from those computers through some type of system that the school sets up. There are copy machines, and besides the books that you can borrow, there are magazines, there are newspapers that you can copy and use for your projects and assignments. There are also private rooms that the libraries have for groups of people who want to study together. Number 8 is to organize your semester agenda book and your notebooks and binders. So your semester agenda book is basically a planner which has a calendar designated specifically for your semester. These books are great for organizing your study schedule for your assignments, your tests, quizzes, projects, and also your personal life. You may want to hang out with friends, and that's fine, but you also may want to set aside time to study, or may want to set aside time to relax and have a me day. You may want to exercise, or whatever you need to do. Is great for organizing, and a lot of people still use agenda books and planners after college. So remember, anything important going on in your semester is going to go into your agenda book. There are some really cool books. There are even stickers that can go along with your book, so things will stand out for you in your book. Organizing your notebooks and binders. So I had a battle within myself when I was in college on whether I should use a notebook or whether I should use a binder. The notebook seemed to be already packaged for me to go ahead and start using, but as the semester went on, there are only a limited amount of pages in a notebook. So I would find myself using up all the pages before the semester was over, having to buy a new notebook, and now I have to carry around 2 notebooks and flip through both of them to find out where my notes were. So I ditched the notebooks for the rest of my school career and just went with binders, because with binders I can put anything I want in whatever order I want to put it in. I can rearrange my notes so that they're in a specific order. I can insert folders and separators, tabs. I can put stickies on things and have a place for my stickies and for my post-it notes, pens. I can put a little bag in there. So binders win for me. Number 9 is to create a study plan. And like I said in number 8, studying is something that you want to put into your schedule so that you can allot time to it and you can make sure it's getting done. Here's a public service announcement. Cramming is not the way to study. I know you may think, oh, I'll get to it later, or I got so much to do, or I remember better when I cram right before the test. This is not how you're supposed to study, because you don't really know anything if you're barely paying attention to class and you don't study all semester until it's time for a test. You don't really know it unless you already know the information from before the course. Here are some tips on studying more efficiently and more effectively. Number 1 is to study according to your learning style. If you don't know what your learning style is, you can take a test for it, but usually people have a auditory, a visual, or a kinesthetic/tactile learning style. 2 is to pick an ideal environment for optimal focus. 3 is to study in increments of about 25 minutes, then take a 5 to 10 minute break to improve your memory. 4 is to create goals for each study session and then create smaller goals for each of those bigger goals. 5 is to review your notes every day. 6, it may be helpful to study with a partner. 7 is to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. This will help to improve your memory and to renew your brain and your body. So that's the end of my list, but I do have a checklist to sum it all up. You can click the link in the description below to download your checklist of the 9 things you must do at the beginning of every semester. I also have a blog post that complements this video and the checklist so that you can refer to it whenever you want. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share, comment, and like. I hope you have an awesome semester.